we're going to look at a few concepts on the geometry and measurement. First, the point. What is a point? Well, theoretically, you're not supposed to be able to see a point, but I'm going to put one here, because a point should really not have any thickness. All right, let me put a point here. Okay, here's my point. I'm going to make it a bit thicker, right? But you can consider it as some indication of where a pair of x and y coordinates intersect. That's one way you can consider it. It has no thickness. It has a thickness of 0 meters, 0 millimeters, whatever unit you want to measure it in, right? However, in real life, we want to see our point, so we put it there just like that. Now, the next thing we want to look at is the line. Suppose we put another point here, right? Then we can have a series of points, an infinite number of points that really travels the shortest distance between those 2 points. In other words, I didn't have any point up here, so that you'd have to travel all the way. You'd have to travel all the way up here and go across, right? You want to go straight between these 2 points. What I did was to make what is called a line. So, the line is really the path between 2 points, taking the shortest distance you can, right? You don't go around in the corner, you just go straight from one point to the next point, and you create a path between those 2 points. Now the next thing is the plane. What is a plane? You may be familiar with the tool that is called a plane, and you use it to, it has a blade at the bottom, and you use it to shave wood to make the top of the wood flat. You may also have heard about what is called the XY plane, something like that. But you can consider a plane as a surface. It's an object that has 2 dimensions. You can consider length and width, but has no thickness, no height, theoretically, right? For example, a sheet of cartridge paper is considered a plane, even though it has a thickness, a very small thickness. You can use something like a micrometer screw gauge and measure the thickness of cartridge paper, but it's still considered a plane. You can ignore the thickness and think of it as having a length and a width, maybe a length of 2 feet and a width of 3 feet. But let us draw a plane here. Say I have 4 lines that close it, and I have my plane. I have a length and I have a width, but I do not have any height, no height. So that is really a plane. It is a two-dimensional object. So in that case, I have my length and my width. 2 dimensions. Now what I have here can be calculated to be an area. For example, if I multiply the length times the width, I get an area. If the length is, say, 5 centimeters and the width is 4 centimeters, then I have 5 times 4 centimeters. 5 centimeters times 4 centimeters give me 20 centimeters squared. The square is there because I'm measuring centimeter times centimeter, so I have centimeters squared. All right, so that's my plane. Let me just erase some of this work because we're going to move on to the next concept that we want to look at. Let me erase it slowly. I don't want to erase any part of my plane here. Okay, good. Now, three-dimensional object, which we call a solid. In this case, we have 3 dimensions. So we not only have length and width, we also have a height. Let me see if I can get my 3-dimensional object. Right. So I go down. No, let me do that again. Okay, so what I have is a 3-dimensional object here. Looks like a box, right? Or some type of what is called a cuboid. I call it a cuboid, not a cube, because I did not try to intentionally make all the sides equal in length. If they were equal in length, then I would have a cube. But this is a cuboid. What I have here, I have my length. The length goes this way and this way. I have my width. And I have my height. Right? So what I have here is a solid. It has 3 dimensions. Now, I could have this as being 10 centimeters high, 15 centimeters wide, 30 centimeters long. Those 3 dimensions would give me a measurement of 10 centimeters times 15 centimeters times 30 centimeters. That would be equal to what? 10 times 30, that's 300 times 15. 15 3 is 45, and then 100. 4,500 centimeters cube would be the measurement that I get here. And this would be called the volume of our solid. Alright? So basically, the point is just an indication of an intersection between our x and y axis. It looks something like this, although you're not supposed to be able to see it theoretically because it has no width, no height, no thickness. All right, but we have to have a dot there to show our point. Then the line is the path you trace between 2 points. The plane is really a 2-dimensional object. Our plane earlier we use four lines to draw our plane, but we could have used just 3 lines. We could have used 3 lines, and that's a plane. So it's really an enclosed area where we have a number of lines enclosing an area. That's a plane. You have no thickness, right? You do not have a third dimension, just 2. And then we have our 3-dimensional object, which we call a solid. All right? So those are the 4 concepts that we wanted to look at in this video. I will see you in the next video.